everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Jennifer, and today we're going to do my top 10 lipsticks for fall. Now, this was actually a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. I have way more lipsticks than I even imagined that I had. I'm going to be doing some series videos coming up after we get to the holidays. It actually might start in December, where I like lip swatch my entire collection of Tom Ford, Chanel, Dior, etc. Those are going to take a long time to put together because I can't do them all at once. I have, I don't know, 40 or so, maybe more Chanel lipsticks alone. So I'll have to do them in batches, like, 10 at a time and record over a series of days. So those will be coming. But as I started to look through my lipsticks, I was like, okay, I have favorites like at different times of the year. I have favorites in spring, I have favorites in the fall, I have favorites when we get into like winter months, like super winter, like January. I'm in Boston if you haven't watched me before, so it's cold here. So what I have are shades that I think lend themselves to fall, where they can still be, they don't have to be super deep because you're not necessarily in the throes of winter, but you are turning into that autumnal kind of phase. Now, don't get me wrong, you can wear any lipstick of any shade, of any kind you want at any time. That's the great thing about makeup, right? It's versatile, you can play with it, you can do whatever you like to do and whatever works best for yourself. But I do have a tendency to change my makeup up. I do have a tendency to change my beauty routine depending on the time of year. For me, living in New England, there really are seasons, like strong seasons. So I wear lighter makeup in the summer because I get hot very easily, so I don't wear heavy lipsticks. I don't really wear much foundation. In the winter, I'll wear a heavier foundation, a creamier foundation, and usually that's the only time of year I'll wear like a velvet lip. So those types of things are things that I do. Again, not necessarily something you have to do, but I just thought it'd be fun to go through and try to pick my top 10. And this was, like I said, this was not easy. It was a lot harder than I thought. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with the lightest formula to the heaviest formula. And I have on pretty simple makeup today. I'll make sure all the details are in the description box, but I did that purposely because I really want to focus on the lips. But I will say, it's interesting when you wear just like less makeup, lighter makeup, it's so interesting how lips can become like the focal point, or if you make your rest of your makeup very simple, how your eyes can be the focal point, etc. So something to just like a tip in, doing makeup. When I would have a client come in, when I used to work as a makeup artist, I would find the thing that they felt the most proud of or comfortable with, or the thing that they wanted to sort of emphasize and like really focus on that. Because I've never met anyone who's come in and been like, I love my entire face. Maybe someone out there does. And if you do, that is fantastic. But I have never met anyone who does that. Usually people are like, oh, I really like my eyes, or I like my smile, and then of course we had a lot of people who would come in and didn't like anything, which was really, sad. And my goal was always to get them to leave to feel more confident, more like put together. And that's one of the things that I love about makeup and beauty. I feel like it can really transform your mood and your confidence level and your, pride in yourself. I don't personally think that makeup should be used as, a mask. Everyone is beautiful in their own way. I really do believe that. There are things that are so unique about every single person, but makeup can just make you feel a little bit better about yourself. It can emphasize something, make you feel like you can just take on the world. And honestly, some days all of us need that, or at least I do. So let's start with the lightest formula. So this is by Terry. This is the by Terry Hyaluronic Lip. I think that's the actual name. If not, I will have it down below. But this comes in 6 different shades, and this is shade 5. This is Secret Kiss? Yes, Secret Kiss. And I really like these hyaluronic lips. They're basically a shiny lip, a little bit more than a balm, but a little bit less than a lipstick. And they're all in kind of, quote, neutral nude shades, depending on the depth. Some have a little bit more pink, some have a little bit more brown. And there's one that's like tea time or something like that. That's one of my favorites. But Secret Kiss is a great shade for fall. They're a Secret Kiss. As you can see by the swatch of my hand, it is a deeper brown. It has a little bit of pink to it, a little bit of rose. It has a little bit of warmth though, so when it goes on my lips, it doesn't look like too pink. The great thing about the By Terry, the hyaluronics, is that they are very moisturizing, you know, by the name. They're slick, they feel comfortable, they're smooth, they don't settle into lines. These are not long-lasting lips, guys. These are the things that you put on to just, you know, to be shiny and have it comforting, but they're not gonna last a really long time. They don't really stain either. So if you like something that's light and slick and glossy and nourishing, this is a great lip for you. If you're looking for something, and I will say, if you haven't watched me before, I don't do liquid lips. I don't like something that really dries down into like a matte, like transfer proof. My lips are too dry, just cannot handle it. There are some liquid lips there's like two that I can handle, the Kilian and the Chanel. The Chanel is a very different formula, and the Kilian, I don't know, there's something nourishing about that one. I'm not exactly sure what they did, but I'm pretty sure that's not transfer proof. So anyway, but I like a glossy lip. I'm willing to live with the fact that it's gonna dissipate and I'm gonna lose the shade and I'm gonna have to reapply. But you know, matte kind of, those types of lips, I really don't do. I do have matte formula and a velvet formula in the lineup, so that those of you who are interested in those types of formulas, they'll be here, but they're gonna be at the end. So these are the Sisley. This is the Sisley Phyto Rouge Shine Lipstick. I have this in Sheer Cocoa. I have a lot of these. I have a number of different shades. I think it comes, let me take a look here. 1, 2, 3, 10, I think it's 12 shades. Sheer Cocoa is one of my favorites year round, but it's especially good for the fall. I think it's got like a very deep reddish brown with a little bit of a pink undertone. Is it very, very different than Secret Kiss from By Terry that I just used? No, it is not. Shades are similar. I think this one is a deeper. It has a little bit more of that like cocoa because it's sheer cocoa. I think it is a little browner, a little deeper. It's also very nourishing. It feels very much like the By Terry. It feels like there's something nourishing, hydrating in there. It's very comfortable. It does not last, just like the By Terry. The price on this is $60. I'll make sure the prices are down below for each one of them when I go back and edit. But I'm just looking to see really quickly if there's something about what's in it. I know the By Terry has hyaluronic in it, but I'm just seeing, yep, there's hyaluronic acid in this as well. And then something called Cognac glucomannan. That's not right. But anyway, basically it's moisturizing and hydration. And there's a couple other things in here, including moringa oil, jojoba oil, and vitamin E. So there's a lot to protect your lips in the Sisley. They are very, very comfortable, very comforting, and nourishing for your lips. But again, it's a very shiny, very pretty, very almost, what's the word I'm looking for? Like juicy looking lip. But it's not something that's going to be long lasting, and it doesn't stain either. Okay, next we have the Dior Addicts. Now I'll be honest with you, I've forgotten how many shades Dior Addicts have. There are so many because there are limited edition ones. There's some that came out for holiday. There's some that came out for the spring, and there's these special edition cases that come as well. This is Cannage. Again, you're going to notice a similarity between this and the other shades, and the other shades I'm going to talk about in a little while. It's a brownie pink shade, and it has a very similar feel to the Sisley and the By Terry. It is not as shiny. This comes out as more of a satin, whereas the Sisley and the By Terry are more shiny lipsticks. This one is described as a shine lipstick, but I feel like it's this particular color, Cannage, because each color has a little bit of different finish, is a little bit less shiny than the others. It has jasmine, floral wax, plum oil, and vegetable-based oils in here, so it doesn't have hyaluronic, so maybe that's why it's not as shiny as the others. Don't get me wrong, it still has a shiny finish. It's just that it's not as glossy as shiny as the others. I think it has a little bit more of a satin in it, but it still has a really nourishing, comfortable feeling. It's you know, again, a beautiful shade for fall. It's got that sort of burnt autumn, burnt orange, kind of a little bit of brown, which is my go-to. I think it works really well if you're looking for something that's quick and easy. I don't have any liners on with any of these so far. They don't bleed, but again, these don't last. They are shiny lipsticks that feel comfortable, that last a reasonable amount of time, but not anything that's gonna be long lasting. And they're not necessarily like super opaque. If you've noticed, all of these, although shiny lipsticks, they do cover in like one swipe. So they're not sheer, but they're not gonna be like thick or velvety like some of the lipsticks that are coming up. Okay, next is Dries Van Noten. Now, Dries Van Noten has different types of lipsticks. There are satins, mattes, sheers, and I believe there's a balm. Yes, there's a balm as well. This is the shade Graphic Ochre. Graphic Ochre is a sheer, so that's why it's in this lighter coverage kind of, so as we're building up to something a little bit heavier. I don't think these are described as particularly nourishing or, you know, like a balm, except for the balm, of course. But I do feel that they are very comfortable. When I look at the ingredients, it does say that there's shea butter and rosa canina fruit oil, which I don't even know what that is. That's interesting. And a bunch of other things that I'm not sure what they are either. But I will say that they feel very comfortable on the lips. The satins and the sheers. I do not have their mattes, his mattes. So I do need to try those. But I will tell you that I feel very comfortable with the sheer, and that this sheer, Graphic Ochre, it's not really sheer. There is a little bit of more warmth in this shade. It has a little bit more, I'd say, I guess it's like an undertone of cerise. Like it's an orangey red, but it's sheer, so you get more of that rose tone on the lips because your natural color will come through. Even though, quote, it is sheer, as you can see, it actually offers quite a bit of coverage and is a beautiful lipstick. One thing I should have mentioned that I didn't mention for the others, those three, the Dior, the Sicily, and the By Terry, I don't notice any fragrance with any of those. The Dries Van Noten definitely has a scent, and it's a fragrance. It's definitely a fragrance. I'm not sure which fragrance it is of his, but it's distinct. You can smell it. It smells, it's very nice, but it's like a warm, almost spicy scent. It's definitely there. So if you don't like fragrance, that's not one for you. One of the other reasons that I chose like heavier lipsticks as we move through this is my lips are starting to get irritated, and so they get deeper shade, like they get a little bit more pink. So hopefully the more opaque lipsticks will kind of cover that up. Okay, so this is Chanel's Allure line. This is 209. This is Alter Ego. This is part of the fall collection where they came up with all the neutrals, and I picked up like pretty much every shade except for one. Again, I think you can see a running theme here with the shades that I like. This is 209. This one's a little bit more brown, like almost like straight brown, where the others had a little bit more pink or rose in it. But I think you'll see it's very much a fall autumnal shade. So this one is probably the deepest of the five in the beginning, the deepest shade. But like I said, it has more of that true brown. I love this shade. It's like one of my favorites from the Chanel collection that came out. It's literally perfect for me. It's exactly what I look for in a lipstick. It's satin, so it's comfortable. The formula is really good in the Allures. It's really easy to wear. Doesn't settle into lines. It feels great. It's not super nourishing. It's not like the hyaluronics or even the Dior that has all the different oils and stuff in it. It's a little more like a straight satin, but it's very comfortable to wear. And if it was in any way drying, I couldn't wear it or I wouldn't like it. So this is a very comfortable formula. It's a good coverage. I'd say, you know, you can build it up. You can make it a little bit deeper if you want to, but it's certainly one swipe, I think, gets you what you need. Okay, so now we're moving into like a little bit in the middle, like Chanel was, the Allure is more of a satin. This is also a satin. This is the La Bouche Rouge. This is Nude Red. Now, if you don't know about La Bouche Rouge is a clean beauty line. Their lipsticks come separately, just like the Dries Van Noten and the Dior and the Sicily. You can take these apart. The Chanel Allures do not. The Chanel Strays you can refill. But these come like this, and you can refill them with different cases. The cases are remnant leather, or you can get a vegan case. So very similar to the Dries Van Noten. The Dries Van Noten, there we go. Dries Van Noten also comes out and has very different cases that you can buy and mix pretty much any way you want. The cases are the summer special edition. You can get ones that are like silver and pink and red, and I have, I think, 12 of them at this point. Special editions come out, a couple times a year. Sometimes they do collabs with other brands. I think they have one out right now, and I forget who they're collabing with, but they have a silver case and like a pink case. And sometimes they'll have special shades that'll come out. Nude Red is one of my favorite shades of all time because it is a red. But there's a neutrality to this red. It makes it really easy to wear every day. These lipsticks are extremely comfortable. They're nourishing. They're like the Allure. They have a similar kind of feel and finish. I will say because they are clean beauty, they don't last as long. And that is Nude Red. It's a shade that I actually can wear year round. I think it's pretty comfortable for, a more heavier satin lipstick. But the formula that they have in their lipsticks are absolutely phenomenal. They have satins, I believe they have mattes, I know they have balms. They all feel really good. And this shade, this Nude Red, you can see why they call it a nude red, because even though it's red and it has, some warmth to it and some depth to it, it's a really good neutral. Now, I'd have to say if I had to choose like which side it leans on, I think it leans a little bit warmer. It's not a blue red, but it's certainly not anyway like an orange or purpley red at all. It's about as neutral of a red as you can get. And it really is a stunning shade. Again, the La Bouche Rouge formula is one of my favorite. I really like their lipsticks. And the fact that you can buy all these special edition cases is, a nice add. Okay, we're continuing with satins until we get to the last two, which is like a luminous matte and a velvet. Okay, so next this is relatively new to me. In fact, pretty new. It's the Bobbi Brown Luxe Lipstick in Afternoon Tea. I have fallen in love with this formula and the shade. I think the shade is just stunning. I absolutely love it. It's very much tea, like it's like a warm tea, like a Pico tea shade. The formula is excellent. It's very nourishing. It feels very comfortable on. This is shade 64. I'm just looking up really quickly if there's any ingredients in here that I should be aware of. I am really impressed with the formula. It says it's a skincare infused statement lip color with a rich satin finish, which is awesome. There are a lot of ingredients here, which I don't even understand, but basically I think there's skincare in here that's supposed to help. There's chamomile oil, jasmine flower wax, there was jasmine oil or something like that in one of the others, and Manoi de Tahiti, which I don't know what that is either, but I'm assuming these types are oils and flower extracts to keep the lip soft and nourished. This shade is the warmest of all the shades that I've talked about today, and if you're looking for like a warm brick, it's not red, it's cinnamon, it's like cinnamon. If that's what you're looking for, this is a beautiful, beautiful shade. And I'm telling you, this formula is just as comfortable as the By Terry and the Sicily and the Dior. It has the softening, nourishing ingredients that makes your lips feel so comfortable. Now, again, this is a much heavier formula. The By Terry and Sicily and the Dior are very light, shiny lipsticks. This is definitely a luxurious satin, but the feel of this is absolutely amazing. So if you're looking for something a little bit more definitely a lot more opaque than, the Sicily or the Dior or the By Terry, but you want something extremely comforting, these Luxe lipsticks by Bobbi Brown are excellent. They're relatively new to the market, which is why they're new to me. And I definitely want to pick up more shades when I'm trying to pace myself a little bit. Okay, we're down to the last satin. Now this is the Giorgio Armani Power Lipsticks. This is in 203. I have done actually like a reel on this, and like I said, I'm going to be doing the series videos. I think I have like a dozen of these. These are great lipsticks. They are comforting. They're, again, you sense the theme, nourishing, but they are very pigmented. They have a lot of coverage. They're easy to wear, and they have a unique shape. They have this teardrop shape, which I don't think I don't have any other lipsticks that have this particular shape to them. They wear a really long time. They wear better than most satins. They're certainly not transfer proof. None of these are, but I think they stay on your lips longer than I would say practically any of these, except for maybe the last two that I'm going to talk about, because those are a luminous matte and a velvet. But you're going to have a long-lasting, very opaque, rich lipstick with this one. And I had a tough time deciding between the Giorgio Armani Para lipsticks and which shade I wanted to use. Again, this is 203. 201 is beautiful, 202, 200, which I might be exclusive to the Armani site. I'm not sure. It's more of a neutral brown. I have a bunch of the hundreds. These are stunning lipsticks. You can see how much coverage you get, how smooth they are. They're long-lasting, comfortable, smoothing. You know, I can't, like all these formulas, that's why I chose them and those particular shades for the fall, but the formulas in all of these are excellent, but they're very comforting. There is satin finish oil, interesting, semi-volatile oil, that's what it sounds like it says, and a vibrant color complex that delivers ultra vivid pigments in one swipe. I have to say, they do really impart a lot of pigment really easily. They feel incredibly comfortable, and they do last a really long time. I'd say twice as long as like most of my satin lipsticks. So I'm not exactly sure what they did, but it stays on your lips and it feels really comfortable on. Like I said, there's a whole host of shades. I'll be doing like lip swatches soon, but I think this one is a little bit cooler, a little bit deeper than some of the other ones, but it still has that brownie kind of, all the shades that I like have more of a neutral tone. I don't like things that are very, very pink, and I don't like things that are very, very orange. They don't really work for me. Very, very pink and very, very orange sort of clashes with red hair. So when you're doing lipsticks and you have red hair and lighter skin, it is a little bit more difficult to do, like, if you like something that's going to be, you know, a cohesive look, it can contrast quite a bit if it's something that's very pink or very orange. So I do like more of a, quote, neutral shade. But I do like things a little bit cooler, a little bit warmer on the other side. And this one, I would say, has more of that, like, little bit of plum to it, which makes it really unique. Okay. Next is the Givenchy Holiday Collection. This was 2021. And this is Copper Nude 501. Now, this is a what they call a luminous matte high coverage lipstick. So you're definitely going to see, you know, more of a high coverage here, and it's a luminous matte. I don't really know what luminous matte means, but I will say that it is more like a velvet. It feels more like that than it does like a matte lipstick. So it's extremely comfortable. It's a gorgeous shade. I know that this packaging, the velvet packaging, was limited edition. I don't know if the shade is. So again, it's 501 Copper Nude. It's one of my favorite shades that Givenchy has come out with. Again, I'm not huge on like the velvet, the matte, luminous matte, whatever you want to call it, but this formula feels really comfortable. And I actually, the one that came out for holiday this year in the puffer coat packaging is the Nude Bois, which is not a new shade, but it's limited edition in the packaging. And I actually love that color for like an everyday. It's a great shade for everyday. This luminous matte formula is actually very comfortable for a matte. Like I said, it feels more like a velvet. And this shade, the shade is just phenomenally good. Again, I don't know if you can get the shade, but it is one of my favorites for fall. Last but not least, and of course, anybody who's watching me knows I was going to put this in here. This is Lisa Eldridge. Now, this is the Lisa Eldridge velvet lipsticks, and that was how I first tried Lisa Eldridge. I love her lipsticks. And there were a number of shades that I was like, oh, I could do a number of shades. Affair was one that I thought would be really good. But I ended up doing Cinnabar, and here's why. Cinnabar is a really gorgeous brick. It's like a brick red, but that has a little bit of brown. It's a really good shade. It's a really unique shade. There aren't too many shades like it. The Bobbi Brown Afternoon Tea has a similar feel to it, but it's not quite the same. And the Givenchy, the copper nude, it also has a similar feel. I'll put because those are the two matte velvet, whatever you want to call them, shades. But if you look, it's a much pinkier, lighter version of it. So I really don't have anything that's exactly like Cinnabar. I just don't. And I would say there's not too many shades out there that are going to have this depth, this shade, and the unique formula that is the Lisa Eldridge Velvet Lipsticks. Something about this lipstick, something about her velvets, it's like you're wearing a velvet on your lips. They're just, they're unique. I can't really explain the formula unless you wear it. It's super smooth and velvety, but it's got like this longevity to it, and it's just, I mean, it's smooth. It's so smooth for a velvet lipstick that I personally don't think there's anything like it on the market. And the shades that she comes out with are just stunning. This one, like I said, it's a very deep brick kind of red. But if we're talking fall, you know, and we're going into that autumnal color scheme, this is just stunning. And it really is like all you need if you're going to do a look. You have this lipstick and some earrings and a little bit of mascara. I mean, really, what else do you need? And this is just such a comfortable lipstick for a velvet, for such an opaque, rich, opulent lipstick. I honestly can't think of anything better. So I'd love to hear what lipsticks you're wearing for fall, or if you do change it up a little bit and, you know, change the shades that you wear. I'd love to hear if there's something that I should definitely go out and try. I'd love to hear that too. So thanks so much for joining me today, guys. I really do appreciate it. And I hope to see you in another video really soon.